In this podcast episode, the hosts interview Vivek Ramaswamy, a successful entrepreneur and presidential candidate. The conversation covers a wide range of topics, including politics, upbringing, personal values, and hobbies. The conversation begins with a discussion about Ramaswamy's upbringing and his early aspirations. He shares that his parents, who were immigrants, encouraged him to pursue a stable and secure career, such as becoming a doctor or lawyer. However, Ramaswamy had different interests and went through various phases, including wanting to be a basketball player and later a tennis player. He also mentions that he enjoyed debating and arguing, which eventually led him to pursue a career as an entrepreneur. The hosts ask Ramaswamy about his childhood and whether he ever got into trouble with his parents or peers. Ramaswamy shares that he was generally obedient and didn't get into much trouble. However, he recalls an incident in middle school where he was pushed down a flight of stairs by a random kid. This incident led his parents to switch him to a different school. The conversation then delves into the different archetypes of students in high school, specifically those who work hard and those who find school easy. Ramaswamy explains that he doesn't believe there is a single trajectory that leads to success and that each person is wired differently. He also mentions that his parents instilled a sense of discipline and stability in him, but he also had an innate desire to break free from that and explore his own creative self. The hosts ask Ramaswamy if he would change anything about the way his parents raised him. Ramaswamy responds that he wouldn't change anything because he believes that his experiences and upbringing shaped who he is today. He also mentions that he and his wife are raising their children differently, allowing them to pursue their passions and make their own decisions. The conversation then turns to the topic of careers and financial stability. The hosts ask Ramaswamy if he would support his children financially if they chose a career that made no money. Ramaswamy responds that he would support them as long as they were following their passions. He believes that financial stability should not be the sole reason for pursuing a career and that true success comes from doing what you love. The hosts also ask Ramaswamy about his hobbies outside of work. He mentions that he enjoys playing tennis and watching good films and theater. He also reveals that writing is a hobby of his, and he has published 3 books in recent years. The conversation then touches on Ramaswamy's personal values, including his vegetarianism and his decision not to drink or smoke. Ramaswamy explains that he chooses to be vegetarian because he would rather not kill animals for his culinary pleasure. He also mentions that he prefers to be in control and doesn't want to subject himself to addictions that would make him lose control. Ramaswamy continues by addressing the concept of toxic wokeism, which he believes has permeated society and stifled free speech. He argues that there is a lack of open-mindedness when it comes to discussing controversial topics such as alcohol and smoking. Ramaswamy believes that these are personal health decisions and that individuals should have the freedom to make their own choices without judgment. When asked if there was a specific moment that changed his opinion on drinking or smoking, Ramaswamy explains that he has always been open-minded about these topics. He attributes his lack of interest in alcohol to growing up in a household where neither of his parents drank. Additionally, he has seen the negative effects of alcoholism in some of his friends, which reinforced his belief that he doesn't want to be intoxicated or hungover. Ramaswamy also mentions his aversion to caffeine, stating that he already has a lot of natural energy and doesn't feel the need for stimulants. He speculates that this high energy level may be due to a genetic trait called hypomania, which allows some individuals to function well on little sleep. The discussion then shifts to Ramaswamy's parents' arranged marriage. He acknowledges that this may seem unusual in the context of growing up in the United States, but he explains that arranged marriages have come full circle in some ways. He clarifies that his parents had some knowledge of each other before their marriage, and there was a vetting process based on factors such as education and compatibility. Ramaswamy emphasizes that his parents had the final say in the decision and were not forced into the marriage. When asked about the short duration between their first date and marriage, Ramaswamy explains that it was a combination of cultural norms and personal choice. While there was societal pressure to get married, His parents ultimately consented to the arrangement and felt it was the right decision. He also mentions that divorce is stigmatized in their community, which may contribute to the low divorce rates among arranged marriages. The conversation then turns to the balance between genetics and upbringing in determining success and motivation in life. Ramaswamy believes that both factors play a role, but he emphasizes that there is no formula for achieving success. He argues that each individual is unique and that it is overly simplistic to think that upbringing alone can mold someone into a specific outcome. Ramaswamy also discusses the concept of meritocracy and the importance of allowing individuals to reach their full potential based on their own talents and abilities. The discussion on relationships begins with Ramaswamy's parents' arranged marriage and how it contrasts with modern dating. He acknowledges that the traditional model may seem strange in today's context, but he also points out the flaws in algorithm-based dating apps. Ramaswamy questions whether an algorithm can truly understand an individual's preferences and argues that the people who know us best, such as our parents, may be better equipped to make decisions about compatibility. Ramaswamy expresses his belief that marriage, in general, is inherently good, especially when it comes to raising children in a stable household. He suggests that having default structural norms in society can be beneficial, as long as individuals still have the freedom to opt out if it doesn't align with their values. He also acknowledges that there will always be people who deviate from the norm and that their choices should be respected. The conversation continues with a discussion on the challenges of promoting nuanced opinions and the truth in a society that values surface-level, easily digestible information. Ramaswamy acknowledges the difficulty in marketing nuanced ideas and suggests that finding a balance between truth and marketing is essential. He emphasizes the importance of staying true to oneself and expressing ideas authentically, even if they don't reach a large audience. He explains that the current system is distorted by the amount of money being spent through super PACs, which makes it difficult for outsiders to compete. Ramaswamy estimates that the winner of the current election will spend around $2 billion, highlighting the importance of fundraising and advertising in the campaign process. He emphasizes that while money should not be the most important factor, it has a significant impact on the outcome. Ramaswamy discusses the demographics of the Republican primary electorate, noting that they are primarily older individuals who rely on traditional media sources such as cable television and AM/FM radio. He acknowledges that this will eventually change as younger generations become more politically engaged, but believes it will take time for a significant shift to occur. The conversation then shifts to the topic of corruption in the United States. Ramaswamy, as an individual from the wealthy elite, acknowledges that he has observed the level of corruption in the country. He expresses his surprise at the extent of the broken and corrupt political system, which he believes is far worse than he expected. Ramaswamy criticizes the system for creating the illusion that it is not corrupt, while in reality, politicians are influenced by their biggest donors. He explains that the current campaign finance limits are a farce, as most of the money spent on campaigns comes from super PACs, which have no limits on donations. Ramaswamy argues that the system is designed to prevent any one person from having undue influence over the president, but this purpose is undermined by the existence of super PACs. He believes that transparency is crucial in addressing corruption and calls for the release of information regarding campaign donations and political influence. The conversation then turns to the question of whether the government should disclose information about unidentified flying objects or evidence of alien existence. Ramaswamy believes that the government should be transparent and share what it knows with the public. He argues that there is no such thing as a noble lie and that the public deserves to know the truth, even if it may cause panic. Ramaswamy is then asked about his experience as the CEO of Roivant Sciences, a biotech company. He explains that the biotech business model is different from other industries, as companies often have high research and development costs that exceed their revenue. He emphasizes the value of intellectual property in the biotech industry and expresses confidence in Roivant's long-term success. The conversation concludes with a discussion about Ramaswamy's aspirations of becoming the President of the United States. He acknowledges that his lack of political experience may be seen as a weakness, but believes that his entrepreneurial background and fresh perspective can bring about positive change. Ramaswamy emphasizes the importance of uniting the country around shared values and reviving the radical ideals of the nation's founding. He expresses his commitment to transparency and truthfulness as a leader and his belief in the potential of the next generation to lead the country forward. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.